Well, hello, and welcome to another lesson of the Focus on DatoCMS course. I am Marcelo Lewin, the Headless creator. As always, there's my email address. Feel free to get a hold of me, marcelo@headlesscreator.com. Send me an email with questions, comments, ideas, whatever you like. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Today I have a special guest presenter, and I'm going to tell you with my best Italian accent that I can tell you. His name is Matteo Papadopoulos, and he's the CTO of Cantiere Creativo. I'm going to ask him how I did in my poor Italian pronunciation later when I bring him on. But he's going to show you how to enhance the DatoCMS authoring experience. He's going to show a lot of tips and tricks on how to do that. Because at the end of the day, remember, your authors have to work with those screens, not just your developers, right? When the developers go away, your authors live with this every single day. So he's going to give you some quick tips on how to make that experience for them much better. But before we get started with that, you know how this works. I'm going to go ahead and tell you real quick about headlesscreator.com. Go get your free account. For those of you watching live, if you don't have an account, get your free account. Once you get the free account, you'll have access not only to this lesson on demand, which will be available in about an hour, but you're going to have access to the entire course, which gives you a bunch of lessons, and you also have access to a bunch of other stuff like the Content Modeling Weekly course that I do. Everybody knows I'm a content modeling geek and I love doing lots of content models, a lot of other Headless CMS courses, and then the Discover Headless Tech course where you get a bunch of tutorials and interviews with people in the industry. So get your free account. It's free, so it won't hurt, and then that helps keep the website going. All right, with that said, you know how this goes. I'm going to go ahead and restart the intro because the on-demand version doesn't have any marketing whatsoever. And then we'll bring Matteo up, and we'll see you in just 10 seconds. Well, hello, and welcome to another lesson of the Focus on DatoCMS course. I am Marcelo Lewin, the Headless Creator. As always, get a hold of me right there, marcelo@headlesscreator.com. Any questions, comments, any ideas, send me an email. I'll get back to you. Today, I have a special guest presenter. His name is Matteo Papadopoulos. He's the CTO at Cantiere Creativo, and I hope you like that accent. I tried really hard. And today he's going to show us how to work with the DatoCMS authoring tool and how to make that experience better for our authors. Because remember, at the end of the day, our authors have to live with this experience and manage all the content for their website. Now, with that said, let's bring on Matteo. Matteo, welcome.
Hi, Marcelo.
Nice to have you here. Thank you for joining me.
I think it's an honor.
So, from 1 to 10, how was my Italian pronunciation? And be honest, I won't. My feelings won't hurt.
Honestly, it was perfect because you have two very difficult words. One is Papadopoulos, that is not Italian, but it's Greek surname.
Right.
That's because of my. And the second one is Cantiere Creativo. That usually is people are struggling saying that is not the best name for English-speaking people. And you're pretty good, very good. So
okay, I feel much better now. Thank you very much. Thank you very. I tried hard. Okay, very good. Well, everybody knows, or some people know, that I'm Argentinian born, and there's a lot of Italians, and Argentinians, I think, have a lot of mannerisms of Italians as well. So I think that's why it becomes a little bit easier to pronounce. But anyway, we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you, and then we'll jump into your presentation. But we'd love to learn a little bit about you. How did you get into technology?
Well, I'm not at Ketos anymore, and even if I'm almost 50, so I started using computers in the 80s, as most of us as geeks. Started with the Commodore 64, learning how to code with BASIC, and then I started and I went ahead doing the graphic design, desktop publishing, and the stuff for almost all the 90s. And then I went I discovered that the web on the early 2000s, and I started doing the front end side, and I started working there. It was there that I discovered the object oriented with the action script of Flash. There was the great years
Right.
for most of us. And then I started doing the front end, and I never stopped to do both. I love to code, but I'm not as a real good developers. That I have to admit that. I work with stunning developers with
Right.
me, but do the front end part. I love it.
What attracted you to the Commodore or computers when you were a kid? Because my first computer, and we're about the same age. I'm a little bit older than you. I'm going to be 55. I'm 54 right now, and my first computer was a VIC 20. So, but I had the 64 as well. What attracted you to computers?
Well, I was attracted. To be honest, it was frustrating for me for a long time. It was frustrating because I had no developers around me in my family or nowhere, so I was alone. And at that time, of course, there was no internet or any kind of sources. So I was buying these magazines at the newspaper shop, and I was 8, 9, and I was trying to copy these fragments of basics, and no one of them worked for me. So I thought that I was absolutely stupid at the time, and programming was not for me, and that's why I went to the design part of the computer. But I was spending a lot of time there, and that attracted me a lot. And of course, at that age, I was playing video games a lot.
Of course. Of course. Yeah.
Commodore 64 was for that.
Yeah. So how did you get into Headless? I mean, obviously you work with DatoCMS, but how did you just get into Headless itself?
Well, and of course, we are super engaged with DatoCMS because Stefano, that is the CEO of Dato, is one of our partners in the agency. And we work together, and we're still working together. And as an agency serving multi-customers, doing custom softwares, web-oriented software. And we tried to make at least 3 CMSs during the years. And of course, WordPress was a status quo. And
Right.
we discovered that time that there was thousands of CMS, thousands of projects that were, and all of them were failing in at that time. And at a certain point, we had the idea that maybe we're doing always the same thing. We were doing the admin part in Ruby on Rails, and it was too much for a certain type of websites and for customers. So we started the first version of DatoCMS. Stefano did was I don't know how to say in English, a REPL, maybe an REPL. It's with the SLI interface to write the models through a terminal. And we made our website, and we started using it, and for many customers. It was at least 6 years ago, so it was very early stage.
So started out of a need, of an internal need.
Yeah, it was an internal need to give a tool to our customers and to make static websites.
Yeah,
static websites has been, of course, the entry point for the headless, and of course now it's completely
right.
a different thing.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Cool.
And
go ahead. Finish your thought.
No. So let's start.
Yeah, let's start. I know people want to see how to expand that author, or how to enhance that authoring experience. So I'm going to go ahead and show your screen right now.
Yeah.
For those of you that are, before we get started, I just want to clear for them. For those of you watching live, there's the chat. Feel free to type in questions in the chat if you have any questions. I'll ask Matteo. Matteo, if I have questions, I'll jump in. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and let you take over, and let's go for it.
Yeah. Okay. No. Now, today this topic is about enhancing the DatoCMS authoring experience, but maybe I'm going to ask you to allow me to better explain the aim of this session, okay, before showing the hands-on. Because during the years, I saw many developers or administrators, if you prefer, doing great architectures on DatoCMS, and the user experience of Dato is terrific. This is the one of the strongest feedback Dato receives. I know that, and modeling is definitely easy and fast. And as developers, we are usually happy to create the fields that we need to test the GraphQL, and then see the data showing up on our website. And yes, the front end is where we have a lot of fun. So as soon as we made our models, we start doing the front end. But I don't know how to say, that's great, but because of the briskness, we have sometimes the results for the editor is not the most outstanding experience they can have, because maybe we can do something for them. They are, as you said before, they are the persons that are actually using the CMS every single day. So we have to think about them. We have to work with them. We need them to love the CMS, the headless tools, all of them. No, but of course, the CMS is the most useful. We need them to love it if we want to continue using this kind of technology. So I think it would be nice if we pay attention and put some care in making an admin more friendly for them. So as I said, Dato was born in an agency as an internal need, so they perfectly know how to the importance of this topic, and Dato offers a few features that we can use to reach our goal. But first, I think I should preface this by saying that not everything is a matter of UI, of the user interface of a certain tool. So then something should be addressed by the training that we may provide to the editors. And as an admin, maybe we know the data better than them, and I think we have responsibility to do it. Also consider that they probably they don't have, or they shouldn't have, the permissions to change the model, the fields, and the way they say things. So we have to do the expert. What I suggest is often is to work with them. While we're modeling, we should stay next to them and ask them the way they write an article, because every editor is different, and so the way they use the blog or they do the product, the details of a product. And okay, but let's see. I just wanted to say something before they start to
I think those are great points, because it's like content governance, and also I'm very passionate about what you said, which is, and let's jump in because people want to see this, but just to close that up, is retraining authors into the new paradigm. It's very different than the old CMS style, regardless of which headless CMS. It's a new paradigm, a new way of thinking, and a lot of it isn't just, like you said, UX, UI. A lot of it is just retraining authors. But with that said, I know people want to see the stuff. Let's get to it.
Okay, so let's start. So I have prepared an environment for this demo, for this session, and that is an absolutely classic. It's a bookshop with books, author, and collections, and blah blah blah. I took this project since it's an open project, so I can use the data we have. How can I say? We have actual content that I can show you. I can use to show you details, and we can freely play with it. So the only thing is, I'm sorry that the content is in Italian, but I think it's absolutely not a problem, because I guess it will not a problem. So first thing first, when we start a new project, so let's pretend we start from a clean, with a clean session. What the first things we usually do is to set the environment of Dato. So for the editors, it's quite important to find a friendly environment when they start using, when they enter for the very first time, and when they use the tool of the company they work for. So maybe the company has the brand colors, so we can personalize Dato for that. Maybe for us as a developers, it's totally secondary, but you can use it. Of course, I'm trying. I'll do it for Cantiere Creativo's color. Maybe we have a blue, we have an accent colors. We can add a logo. So let's upload it. I can use maybe the white one for the top bar. Let's say this. Whoops. No, that's not whoops. That's a nice feature of Dato. We're not going into all of the feature for editing, but when you upload an image, an asset that you already have uploaded before, Dato recognizing, and it's asking, do you want to keep the user existing assets or keep and uploading a new file? And of course, we're going to use it. And the last thing you have here is the time zone. It's quite important because editors often want to publish a certain content later, and maybe tomorrow at midnight. So the time zone is quite important to have the right time for publishing. And so I started from this very simple part because I wanted to show something. So here on the left-hand side, you can see I'm working with a window, and I have the same window open on the right-hand side. I'm with the same user, so you can simply copy and paste the URL. And Dato has this nice behavior that as soon as you save something, the things you're saving will be shown up to any editors or users that are connected in that very moment. So when you're modeling, if you move fields, if you change everything, you are able to see what you're doing. So this is very nice if you keep the two windows open, that you can see what you're doing while you're modeling something. You can see the result of that. There are just a few things that you can see. For example, the logo here, you have to reload, but that's totally secondary. The next time, of course, you will see. So let's start doing our first model. As I told you, we have a bunch of models already in this project. Let's pretend this is a clean one. So I want to show you how to make we want to make a book, and I already have a book, so I have to use a different name. And I thought maybe Tom is it could be a good name. It's not a single instance because we're going to do the collection of books. I'm not here to teach how to create models and fields, so I go a little bit quick on this. So because I also know that Marcelo is going to show you in another session. So we want to add a few fields. For example, as a books, we want to have a title, of course. And now what I can do, I can go to the content. We have a tome here in my sidebar, create a new record. And as you can see, I see the title. Okay, let's say that I add a few of them. Maybe we have a description, and I added as a structured text, description, say field. I don't care. I'm doing the details of this. And as you can see, as soon as I create a new field, you will see it here, and it's ready to